Yes, sirree. Good morning, humanity. It's June 14th, 2021, and it's our favorite time of the week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. And hi, everybody. My name's Paul.
Good morning. This is Steph.
Hello, Bev. Good
Hello,
morning to
Paul.
you. Yes,
Same to
yes.
you.
So we're in a heat wave here in the Southwest.
Oh, it's raining here
Well, there
in
you
the
go.
Northwest. I
From one extreme to the other. Yep.
know.
So, well, we're okay at our house. We have these misters, drops at like 20 degrees. I noticed, but
I know. I've been at your place using the misters.
whew,
It's amazing what
I'll
that
tell you,
does.
best
Wow.
investment we ever made.
I know.
So,
Yeah.
okay, we have a great show today. We're going to talk about what is health, and this was inspired by a little video that came across my email from Cilla Watcott with Real Immunity. We had her on a show
Yes.
one time. Really incredible woman. And first, we want to take a little time to say bye bye to Larry
Oh,
Meyer with Rose Meyer. So Rose was one of our certified practitioners who got involved with BioTouch because her husband had had a couple of strokes, and Larry, and she found us on the internet, bought the manual, just started practicing on her own, and there was incredible results. And he just was an amazing guy. In these pictures here, he was actually got to the point where he and Rose did a workshop on strokes, and he
they
was
did.
able to come to the workshop, speak to us, use his hands to do BioTouch on Rose, and as you can see, that hand that's up there floating around, and he even was able to raise the hand that had the stroke symptoms to it. Amazing couple.
I
And
mean, really, when I say that, how honored we were to be on there, it was a journey for them, wasn't it?
yeah,
And we got
incredible.
to really be part of that. I will never forget. Um, Her and I were in a biotech session. I was the recipient. She was the associate. And afterwards, we were talking about biotouch, and she said that biotouch, one of the things that biotouch lifted the quality of their life was that her husband, for the first time in years, was actually able to hug her. Things that we take for granted.
Yeah.
He was actually able to hug her. And we both were crying. I mean, that was just like for Larry and for Rose, uh, um, a step that they never thought they would ever be able to take.
And she was telling me how
Amazing.
she was able to. So it happened really quick, and she was able to do BioTouch with him, laying next to him while he was in hospice, and she just felt like there were a couple of sighs. So
Yeah.
we know Larry's over there, free of the physical restraint, but still hugging not only Rose but all of us. He touched all of our hearts. We want to send
Oh,
our love
yes,
out to Rose and our support. So
definitely.
quite the couple, quite the man. Grateful to be part of their life.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about what is health, and I think starting with the two of them, it's perfect because we have this quote from the World Health Organization. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Larry was a perfect example. He still had the infirmities, but the incredible amount of love and well being and mental acuity that he had to relate
Yeah.
to his wife and his family, that's health.
Oh my gosh.
That's
I know.
health.
That was just the most perfect statement, isn't it? Because what have we been saying now for the last couple of years? It came to us that and it's out there. The other organizations are beginning to grasp this too, that the new wealth is health.
Correct.
What does that mean?
Well, on one level, it's always what I've always talked about. Affluency is affluency when you give it away. BioTouch is that affluency that we all possess. And the way to really keep it is to share it, is to give it that wealth, the wealth
Right.
of healing and prosperity and happiness. can be done just with that simple little touch.
Yeah, it really brings us into a state of beingness. You know, we talk about the relationship of healing that BioTouch offers every single one of us. And when we're present in that, you know, whatever our takeaway is, it begins to qualify our lives in ways that, you know, so wealth, you know, in this society, we've actually attach that meaning or that word to something that's monetary,
Right.
an
And
exchange.
fleeting. Right. And it's fleeting. It's
Yeah, it's
here and
here today,
gone.
gone tomorrow, right?
Right.
But wealth is a state of being, and we know that BioTouch. That's why we say BioTouch is a holistic. One of its attributes is it's integrative, but it's holistic because it does everything that that statement from who says. It brings us into all those different awarenesses on those different parts of ourselves,
Right.
and then you have this holistic, this wholeness, which is what the body is always looking for. Believe it or not, the body just wants to be whole.
Right.
It wants to be it contributing. It wants to be having a relationship with its other parts. That's what humanity is striving towards.
Right. And our other parts are, first of all, the people in our lives.
Yeah.
Life is with people. Scylla went on to say, she says, health is an awareness of the interconnectedness of life. And it's interesting because that's a big statement now. I noticed Dr. Zach Bush is saying that lots of medical professionals are talking about the interconnectedness of
Oh
all of
yeah.
us and our nature and our surroundings. And we talk about BioTouch is from the beginning. It started with BioTouch is about self
Right.
awareness. Yeah.
And all you have to do is read our vision statement.
Yeah.
That
And
interconnectedness is there.
it's just incredible. I mean, so we feel like really grateful that we're part of the movement now. We were sort of revolutionary, but now it's becoming mainstream talk. And
Right.
and I'm always reminded of when people say self awareness. Well, what is that? And I remember that trucker. He was a trucker, and he was the head of the Teamsters Union here locally. And he became an instructor, and he stood up in front of the group where he was supposed to talk about self awareness, and he goes, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
I
And
love
I
that.
always loved that because that was his self awareness.
Yeah.
And that's what we say, the self awareness. We're not talking about some philosophical, high esoteric, religious concept here, folks. Self awareness is merely about an awareness of this thing in relationship to my surroundings.
You know, I think one of the things that has infiltrated into the consciousness in regards to health and on a societal level is that somehow we have attributed that to being fixed, that somebody else, something else is going to fix us and bring us into health. And what BioTouch, this is an innovative whole new way of looking at health that BioTouch holds, is that you're already fixed. It's this you know, if you want to use that term, you're really just BioTouch is helping the body to bring itself into what it already knows it wants. So there's this thing about going to another person, going to another practitioner of any kind, and saying, you know, I'm sick or I'm not healthy, fix me. And it happens on both sides of that relationship. What BioTouch offers is, well, first of all, we said this, we're not here to fix anybody. That's impossible. So that self-awareness is not about another person. It's really about you, whether you're the practitioner or the recipient. It's this self-awareness that the relationship offers. We
And
can't fix
right.
you.
And the amazing thing is in that healing happens. I mean,
Yeah.
we have that test that we did, the research project where they did BioTouch through clothing, off the skin, as some of those energy modalities do, and the skin to skin touch. And the results were the skin to skin touch reduced more pain, reduced stress levels, and more importantly, the idea of feeling cared for
Yeah.
was so far above that the one that was off the body, people felt less cared for post session than
Right.
pre session. And that
Yeah.
always reminded me of Anita Morjani, who had that stage 4 cancer, died on the operating table. Her whole system had shut down, and she had that experience on the other side, or whatever you want to call it. Came back, and within 2 weeks, everything had cleared up. She was in perfect health. And she
Amazing.
said the lesson that she had learned was that it was about love. Bring
Which is
love
what we've
into
been saying.
relationship. Bring love into relationship. And it doesn't mean that your physical ailments are going to go away. That might be what I have to do in this lifetime, as Larry had that arm that never really straightened out. But his well being was so healthy, his relationship was healthy. And when he died, it went very quickly. When it was
Yeah.
time to be done with the body,
Right.
boom, he was gone. It wasn't suffering that had to go on.
I think that's a key word, relationship, because that interconnectedness that we're starting to, that immediately reminds us that we're not here all alone, never have been. We're not
Right.
separated from the group. That this interconnectedness, it infers relationship. This is the crux of everything. We're through this pandemic. What if we, so many of us are realizing that whatever choices we make impacts on the whole. That's a self-awareness that really BioTouch is capable of giving to us. But this relationship, it part of our affluency, part of our contribution, part of our service. Who are we serving? The other parts of ourselves in that relationship. And it begins with the family group. This is why we say the grassroots movement of BioTouch is in the family group. This is where we all have our first introduction to relationships, right? That's where it has to begin. So, we've been saying these things for a long time. I'm just glad that everybody else is agreeing with us.
It's about time, ain't it?
Yeah.
If you have an idea in a few words or less, or a whole paragraph, put a comment in there. What is health? What does it mean to you?
Yeah.
Let's start dialoguing a little bit about what these things mean, not just throw a bunch of words around, but dialogue a little bit. Have conversations with people. Next time you get with a group of people, let's talk about these kinds of things, and then be able to just take those two fingers and just do the greeting. Just by doing the greeting, you put yourself into relationship. That takes 15 seconds for one person to touch one and another person to touch, maybe 30 seconds because it's 6 to 8
let's
seconds.
give 15 seconds for
30,
each person.
30 seconds. 30 seconds out of your life to put yourself
Right.
into relationship. So let's remind you how to do the greeting. And what's great about this little video is it actually has the family unit here together.
The greeting is always performed at the beginning of each session. It's the only set that uses one hand and the only set that indicates which hand to use. The greeting is performed with the dominant hand. If you are right-handed, use your right hand. If you are left-handed, use your left hand. The greeting is made by touching at point 1, which is in the fleshy area just below the bottom of the breastbone or sternum. Hold this point for 6 to 8 seconds. Then, with the same two fingers, touch point 2 on the back. To find point 2, look for the big bone at the base of the neck. From here, move 1 to 1.5 inches to the left. This is point 2. Hold this point for 6 to 8 seconds. More than one associate may work with a recipient provided that all of the associates perform the greeting. If the associate or the recipient leaves the session, or if someone who hasn't done the greeting touches either the recipient or the associate, the greeting must be reestablished. Then the session may proceed from where it was interrupted.
That's how simple it is. You know, what I like about that too, for those who are just listening to this podcast and they're not seeing it, the words are very clear of where you find these points. It's just that simple to do. And then bring the family in together. There, that little boy, I think he was like 8 or something when that was taken. So
I love that.
yeah. So it's easy to do. If you're listening to us, you know, just practice it. Go to our website, justtouch.com. There's plenty of little videos there to learn. There's a whole section on drop-down menu on different health conditions that have videos, and we actually teach the technique and how to do it. Our next one is on COPD and respiratory illness. That's coming up. That's with emphysema too. That is coming up on the 24th. Kathy Teak is going. She's a retired respiratory therapist. She's going to do our presentation with us at 6 p.m. Live stream, so that you can ask questions of Kathy or come and learn the points necessary. It only takes an hour. We can give CE credits if you're a massage therapist or a nurse or a doula. But in an hour, you'll learn a lot about how we even get these kinds of problems, and boom, how to take care of it with a few sets of points to do.
Yeah.
And another way we teach it is with our online training program. Our next one's Saturday, June 29th. It's 9 to 4:30. As people say, boy, the day just whizzes by. If you have your phone out with your QR code thing, just show it on that little screen up there. It'll take you right to the website where to sign up for it. So justtouch.com if you aren't seeing this and you're just hearing us. So that's our goal. We want to teach it, as Bev was saying. We have to get it into the family unit.
Yeah.
Well, do you have health? Should we show people what we learned today?
Oh, yes.
Now, how did we say it?
Touch.
Touch.
In peace.
In peace. Touch in peace, folks. So all
Touch
of us,
in peace.
all of us little 60 babies, touch in peace, touch in peace. Just that's the new Star Trek instead of this kind of a thing here.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, we got it now. Touch in peace.
Touch in peace.
So go out into the world and touch in peace.
There you go.
And let us know how it works for you, because that's our job, is to get this into your home. We're grateful that you tuned in today. If you're listening or watching us, go to our website again, justtouch.com. If you have any questions, just send them to us. We'll be happy to. Yeah, just ask and you shall receive.
Yes, you will.
Yes. So we have our closing song this time, Horace Barnes, great guy, and there's a little QR code or website to go to that to get his other songs too. So I guess until next week, thank you, Bev.
Thank you, Paul. And thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If Hank has got you down and you live in town, take a trip down to Pima Street. The people down there are people who care. They will get you back on your feet. Put love into action. Put love into action. If you ever want to have any real satisfaction, choose love while you still can. Don't even try to understand. A healing grace in your own hands. Put love into action.